It's 2 in the morning. It's 2:19. I'm not Tom Waits. Okay? It's a dumb joke reference. 2:19 is a great song. One of my favorite songs, actually, by Tom Waits. But it's 2:19 in the morning. Okay? And sleep is something I should get eventually. But I wanted to play, even just for a little. Alright. What can I remember since I literally just played this game? What can I remember? What can I remember, Watson? What was the last thing? We were at this bar. I was given some information. I think I confronted. Oh, didn't I talk to Squibby? We talked to Squibby, right? And he's gonna leave town. The blah blah blah. What's that thing called? The journalist guy? We confronted him and he said like he don't even care about Bluto or whatever. I don't know what his name is. Squibby. He don't care about him. So what are we doing, Watson?
Let's go to Dutfield's yard. It's not
Ah,
far from the wasp's nest.
all right. Let's go to Dufield's yard. I don't know where that could be. We need a flashlight. They didn't have. Oh my gosh, it's so dark. They didn't have flashlights back then, huh? It's so dark over here. Are you kidding me? This can't be it. Dutfield's yard? Is that like a... Oh, oh wait. Do you remember that scene? I forgot. I just remember now. Like, Squibby, somebody... I don't know who these people are, but like, somebody was being chased over here. Like, the butcher's place? This place, right?
Dutfield's yard.
Yeah. Okay. That was kind of dramatic. Somebody was being chased over here? That was so confusing. Just gonna walk in like we own the place? Like we're the police? Alright, I'm hearing things.
Your interrogation of P.C. Smith has proven to be very shrewd and of great interest. Thanks to
Oh,
the
that's right.
information I've managed to gather and that you were able to read in my notes in Baker Street, Watson, we can recreate what happened that fateful night at this location. Dutfield's yards, to be precise, the site of Liz Stride's murder.
Who's that? Wait. Oh man, dude. I thought there was two ladies that were murdered. Pause. Let's go back real quick like. I thought that there was two ladies. Look at all this. Okay, yeah. Oh. Did I read these? Okay, so these are the two ladies, Catherine, I think it's Catherine Eddowes. These are like Liz Stride. Catherine Eddowes, I'm pretty sure that's like one of the real victims. Liz Stride, it doesn't ring a bell. But I think I read this. I did. Did I read the note on murder of a occasional prostitute? I don't think I read hers. So we must be doing one murder at a time. So I did read Liz's though. Did I read hers? I remember the phrase occasional prostitute. Oh, that's because I read it here. Occasional prostitute. Uh, the two small pieces of paper. Okay. Okay, so I'll read Catherine's when we get to her. So right now we're doing the timeline of this. Usually they let us have like the document. We're supposed to like attach the document. Okay, but let me just look at this then. I have to actually use my brain. All right, let's see. Let's start looking at some numbers. Two doctors who came to the police requested a scene of crime. Da, 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 da. Put the time of death after 12:46 p.m. Okay, after 12:46 p.m. Okay, there's a social club. There's a social club. See that ended around 11:30 p.m. But many members remained to debate and sing within the premises of the association. An American president that evening declared to have been in the courtyard at 12:20 a.m. and went to the street and didn't see anything unusual. Okay, so we have 12:46. She said she died after 12:46. There was a social club going on from like 11 to midnight-ish. Where's that at? 11:30 to 12:20. Okay, let me see this. Midnight. The club meeting ends. Well, they said like, didn't they say, hold on. They said that people stayed late to sing until American was evening declared to have been, okay, wait. The meeting ended around, but many members remained to debate and sing within the, okay, so maybe I'm overthinking this. He said midnight, the club ends. So like, put it at midnight then.
Midnight, the socialist club meeting ends.
If
The
you're just gonna
members,
tell
mainly
me,
Jewish men, gradually begin to leave the club in little groups or alone.
apparently, yeah, I'm overthinking. He's just telling me, okay, 12:20, the American goes out for some air. No one is in the street. This is the American.
12:20 a.m. The American leaves the Socialists Club for some fresh air. The street is deserted.
Usually it's a puzzle. Like that's why I was like confused, but it's like telling me exactly where to put it. Okay, whatever. 12:30 to 12:35 a.m. PC Smith, that's the guy Watson was talking to. He was that cop. Sees Liz Stride speaking to the man with the packet. 12:30 to 12:35. This is a cute little window.
12 a.m. Smith notices Liz Stride talking to the man with the package.
Mr. Eagle, the president of the Workers' Club, enters the club by the passage in Dutfield's yard. Some of these, like, where are we getting some of this information? I guess when Watson was talking to whoever, but I don't remember.
12:40 a.m. Eagle, the president of the club, enters the Workers' Club via the passageway through Dutfield's yard. He passed through Dutfield's yard. If Liz Stride had already been killed, he would have had to walk over her. The murder, therefore, had not yet happened.
We've already established that because the cop said that it probably happened after 12:46 a.m. Israel Schwartz passes by Dutfield's yard and witnesses the attack on Liz Stride. He saw this. He saw this happening.
12:43 a.m. Israel Schwartz passes by Dutfield's yard and witnesses the attack on Liz Stride.
Okay. Israel Schwartz changes sidewalks. The attacker sees him and cries. That they use this term, I feel like, in a way that I don't like. I'm not gonna say it. Wait. Israel Schwartz changes sidewalks. The attacker sees him. It's like a generalization. You know, they're just generalizing them, and that's like what they call them, Jewish people in this game. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay. Israel Schwartz changes sidewalks. The attacker sees him and cries. That's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting thing to do.
12:44 a.m. Schwartz crosses to the other side of the road. The attacker sees him and yells, Lipsky. The attacker must have shouted to his accomplice at the end of the road, Lipsky, indicating at Schwartz using his head in an attempt to scare off this undesirable.
That was kind of confusing. That went over my head. Because they're saying that the attacker has an accomplice. Maybe. I'm not going to say probably. I don't know. But, I'm confused. Okay. Israel Schwartz flees, followed for a few beats by the follow-up. Israel Schwartz flees, followed for a few beats. Okay, so the attacker did have an accomplice. And so the attacker sees this random man, right? And he signals to his partner, like, hey, blah. And the guy now is apparently following this guy to get him out of the scene of the crime. This seems so not like accurate to me, but I don't.
12:45 a.m. Schwartz runs away, followed for a short distance by this man.
Okay. Dr. Diemschutz wants to enter with his cart pulled by a pony. All right.
1 a.m. Mr. Diemschutz wants to enter with his cart, but the pony refuses. We know that the murder took place between 12:45 and 1 a.m. Mr. Diemschutz, therefore, must have disturbed the killer.
Yeah, that's what.
Place Liz Stride's murder on the timeline, Watson.
That's why. That is why he went, because this is the story in the lore and research of Jack the Ripper. He did one body, right? But it wasn't as like grotesque as what he had been doing, and it looked kind of rushed. So then he went, because they said that he might have been disturbed. So then he went and like murdered someone else same night. You know, that's what they do. The murder of Liz Stride took place in a 15-minute window.
12:45 to 1 a.m. The murder of Liz Stride. It took place in this very spot, as the traces of blood were very confined. We will come back to this point in a few moments to elaborate on what could have happened. Well, we are still missing certain information in order to finish this investigation, Watson.
Hey, Sherlock. Okay, who's burning this right here? Let's have... Oh my goodness, we're just walking in her chalk body. I'll just say, like, let's have a look around. Can I look around first before... Because we haven't been over here. Why do we have this knife out? Like, what the heck? What's up here? We're not gonna go up here? Murder and mutilation of a female. I think I've read these. Alright. This, gosh, so... Oh, Watson, you scared me. Okay, let's see.
Watson, imagine the victim laid down there on the ground.
Very vivid imagination. Let's get our magnifying glass.
The throat, There is but one clean cut, slightly slanted downwards.
Okay, okay. The wound to the neck is clean, starting from the right and slightly oblique and descending. Okay. The blow was given to the middle of the neck. The blow was given with the right hand. The blow was given with the left hand. Okay. The wound to the neck is clean, starting from it was given with the right hand. Didn't we establish he's right-handed? Alright. There is only one wound, and it proved to be mortal. The victim had her neck wrung. There's but one superficial wound to the neck. I mean, it proved to be mortal. Okay. The murderer struck the blow from below. The murderer struck the blow from above. The murderer struck the blow from his height. Yeah, I feel like, what the heck? The murderer is strong. The murderer is weak. The murderer is a lumberjack is interesting. He's got to be strong. It's quick swiftness. L. Stride's killer is right-handed. We're doing this again? We're doing the right-hand, left-hand thing? I hated this. L. Stride's killer is right-handed, ambidextrous, left-handed. He's right-handed. He's a weak man. A strong man is a woman. Sherlock, don't play with me. Now, is this one wrong? That's fine. Okay, let's get some more information, shall we, Sherlock? I wish you wouldn't just jump into that, because then it makes me think like, what the heck? Okay, she's sleeping. Blood pooled. Alright, her hand, she like tried to, this is the first time we see where like she tried to probably stop the bleeding.
Her right hand, it is bloody, as is her wrist.
Yeah, she tried to like, and she has some blueberries or something like that.
Her left hand, it is closed around a bag of pastils.
Pastils, whatever those are. Let's talk about this. She looks like kind of disheveled, but now it doesn't mean anything to you. Okay, Sherlock.
The ground is muddy.
Ground is muddy, right?
Her knees and dress, they are clean.
Her knees and dress. Okay, ground is muddy. Knees and dress are clean. So he took her here, right? He lured her back here probably, and then murdered her. We probably have to do more of hold on, third person. We have to do more deductioning. I'm pretty sure. It just doesn't tell us. Yes. Okay. The ground is dirty. The knees and the bottom of the dress at the front are clean. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Connected. The victim was careful. The victim didn't struggle on the ground. The victim didn't struggle. The victim was killed lying down. I don't think so. The victim wiped her clothes. The victim was killed upright. I think she was killed upright, dude. Okay. Stride had her back to the killer. Nah. Stride and her murderer lying down at the moment. No. Stride and her murderer were standing at the moment. Nah. Okay. Stride's... this is an interesting one. This is not... Now we're doing height. She defended those blueberry candies with her life. Understandable. Understandable indeed. I might have done the same thing had I been in her situation. It's 2:33 in the morning for me. So apologies in advance if I seem slightly less than mentally capable of having sentences completed in the proper order. So I think that this lady and the killer are the same height. Yes, and I'm a genius. The corduroy wasn't slit. Did you say so? Bloody right hand and wrist. Bloody right hand and wrist. The corduroy wasn't slit. The victim was bleeding from the nose. No, I don't remember that. Had her hand cut. The victim put her hand up. Okay. The knife blade used in Elstride's murder was thin. The murder weapon used against Elstride was a mezzaluna? The knife blade used in Elstride's murder was thick. It was a thin blade. I don't even know what a mezzaluna is.
We have two possibilities. The first is that Liz Stride's killer and the attacker, seen by Schwartz, were one and the same man.
Right.
The second is that Liz Stride meets a client. After some discussion, they head towards Dutfield's yard to do their business. As soon as they arrive, the attacker appears while his accomplice keeps
I don't
watch.
like the second one, Sherlock.
Schwartz's arrival dissuades the two men from lingering. They leave the area and leave Liz Stride in a tense state, but glad to have kept her client. He will be her murderer. Both hypotheses are possible, but an incongruous detail will serve to corroborate one of them. An incongruous detail that we were able to establish regarding the Hanbury Street murder. Which one would that be, Watson? Look at the victim carefully, Watson, and tell me the link between the murder of Liz Stride and those of Nichols and Chapman.
You control Watson? Got you. What is he? A Mazzolina. Ah, Italian. It's a knife consisting of one or more curved blades with a handle on each end, which is rocked back and forth, chopping the ingredients below with each movement. It's one of those knives for cutting herbs. Ah, thank you. Thank you for that. Never heard of that. Never heard of that. But it sounds handy. Sounds very specific. It sounds like a very specific tool. I don't know what Sherlock was thinking, even asking me. But, you know, he's Sherlock. Now I'm in charge, so it's Watson. Doing more thorough investigations. We're going to connect this murder to the other murders. 1. We know her throat's cut. And he did that to everybody.
No, that's
okay.
not it.
Just kidding. It's that she was killed where she was at, isn't it? That she's just killed.
No, that's not it.
Sherlock, you gotta be kidding me. She's a woman? She has a bag, but this is not super connected. I mean, there was another case where, like, a lady was, like, kind of doing, like, a handoff thing. So I don't know. Sherlock clearly just trying to show off his knowledge for no reason, as usual. And he's such the type. Using words we've never heard and talking about knives we've never experienced. He has a very strong, strong vocabulary of life, of stuff and things like that.
The bag of pastels, Holmes.
The bag of pastels, indeed.
What is a
If
pastel?
this woman had to defend herself against an attacker, why would she have held onto this bag in her hand?
It doesn't even look like...
fall because this woman's hand tensed at the moment when she fell to the ground. Therefore, Watson, we know the killer distracted his victim's attention by making them take something out of their pockets. Why didn't he slit her throat like the others? He must have feared a struggle with this strong-willed woman. Why didn't he eviscerate her? Because Louis Diemschutz arrived.
Do you think the Whitechapel killer is behind this murder, Holmes?
Yes, and now this murder has been linked to its rightful perpetrator, it will take on deeper meaning when we have examined the facts from that night. Let's go to Mitre Square, where Catherine Eddowes was killed. And make haste, Watson, as we have another murder to commit in 40 minutes.
Oh, the murders are 40 minutes apart? That's very interesting.
Here
I
we
thought
are,
they were
Watson,
quick, like,
Mitre Square.
shorter.
It took us a mere 20 minutes to get here.
October
If
7th
the
and
killer
8th.
left Dutfield's Yard around 1 o'clock, as we assume, he would have arrived here at around 1:20 a.m. We know that Catherine Eddowes' body was discovered at 1:44 a.m. Catherine was released from prison around 1 o'clock, but we have no information as to what she could have been doing until her death. This place has 3 possible ways out. Let's see where they lead. As a precaution, I brought an old map of the area with me. It will help us get our bearings.
We're gonna need
Let's
a
hurry,
map for
Holmes.
this?
This neighborhood makes me ill at ease.
Ooh. Before we do that, we're gonna read the note on the murder of Catherine Eddowes. Because I haven't read it yet. Note on the murder of Catherine Eddowes. Catherine Eddowes, 46 years old, height 5 foot. I'm 5'1". We are almost height twins. Occasional prostitute. She had a regular relationship for 7 years with one John Kelly, a man of no regular employment and about the same age as the victim. The victim was found dead at 1:44 a.m. on September 30th by P.C. Watkins, who was on his rounds. He secured the area by calling to the watchman of the warehouse located some feet from the crime scene. According to the doctor who arrived on the scene at 2:18 a.m., the victim had just been dead for a half hour. Ooh, so fresh. Unlikely, but we know from her experience how hard it is to precisely establish the time of death when the corpse has been very mistreated. Was the corpse mistreated, though? Cause of death? Hemorrhage due to a throat wound. The medical examiner also confirmed that, additionally, the extractions committed on the corpse were done post-mortem by a right-handed man possessing a long-bladed knife. Oh, we haven't talked about these extractions. What did he take? The victim was subject to numerous mutilations. The victim was found stretched out in a dark corner of Mitre Square, notorious meeting spot for prostitutes and their clients because of its remote, poorly lit location. It should be noted that the victim was freed from the Bishopgate Street Police drunk tank at 1 o'clock in the morning. Mitre Square was visited at 1:30 a.m. by P.C. Watkins coming from Mitre. I'm just saying this word. That looks like it's probably Mitre, it's Mitre to me. Mitre Street at 1:42 a.m. by P.C. Harvey coming from Church Passage. The two police constables didn't see anything suspicious in the area, but it should be noted that PC Harvey didn't enter into Meter Square, unlike PC Watkins. Whoever knows how to say this word is probably like, what? Every time I'm saying it. But the watchman also, the watchman who came to lend a hand to Watkins at the time of the discovery of the body had been awoken during the time of the crime. His door is located a few feet from the spot where the victim was dying and didn't hear anything until the police's call. Firstly, we must note that the clothing worn by Catherine Eddowes are very characteristic. I think, in particular, the patterned green chintz skirt as well as the white men's vest. A few of her possessions, including the thimble, were found around the corpse. Rah! He's getting back to his signature. What he does is his signature is an MO. I always get those two confused. I think signature is like how you kill, and MO is like the strange thing you do that you don't have to do. I think that's what I learned. Didn't matter. The white apron was found on the corpse. Like you might slit their throat, but your MO would be, oh, you like to pit their items all around the body. Or maybe, like, this is in his case, he takes the uteruses or takes parts of their bodies. He doesn't have to do that. Do you know? I think that's MO. Okay. The white apron was found on the corpse with a part missing. Thus, this missing part, previously resewn, thus ensuring authenticity, was found at 2:55 a.m. on the night of the murder by PC Alfred Long. There's so many details in this. Who states that the object wasn't there at his preceding patrol at 2:20 a.m. Somebody came back? The piece of bloody apron was found in the entrance hall leading to the stairs of 108, 118, and 119 Wentworth model dwellings on Golston Street. At the right of the entrance, just above the apron, was found the following inscription in chalk. Do I want to read this? Because I don't understand where this game's going with these things. Wait, okay. I'm going to skip over it, just in case. The Wentworth model dwellings building being almost exclusively occupied by Israelites and Golston Street being the site of a very popular, much frequented market, he decided to erase the inscription before the date broke. Now, who decided to erase that? Alfred Long? Okay, because listen, in this game, I'm saying this over and over again. They are in this game, whoever is doing the murders, it seems like they're trying to frame like the Jewish community, because the other people in this game during this time period, for whatever reason, there's xenophobia, right? Okay, and they're kind of always accusing this specific community of the crimes. So I feel like in this game they're painting the narrative that like, oh, this Jack the Ripper is purposely trying to frame them to like throw him off the trail. But I feel like we've established that Jack the Ripper is potentially a Canadian man or an American in this game. Not sure. So you said I think it's modus operandi, and that's just saying it's the way he does things. But I'm guessing too, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I forgot what it was. Like, there's the signature of the killer, and then there's the MO, which is what you said, modus operandi. I can't remember which one is which. One is how you kill. The other is like the extra bits you do that don't have to be done. They're more like compulsive things, more kind of like ritualistic. Anyways, I just wanted to give context to what like this inscription is. So based on what I'm reading at 2:45 in the morning, the cop destroyed this inscription that was written down in chalk because it's in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood, something like that, and maybe it would have caused like more of a scene or something. I don't know. Okay, Kate Eddowes' belongings. Anyways, you're not supposed to do that. That's not how you do police work at all. But Kate Eddowes' belongings, wearing at the time of her murder, black straw bonnet trimmed in green, and black velvet with black beads, black strings worn tied to the head, black cloth jacket trimmed around the collar and cuffs with imitation fur and around the pockets in black silk braid and fur, large metal buttons, dark green chintz skirt, 3 flounces, brown button on waistband. The skirt is patterned with Michaelmas daisies and golden lilies. That sounds pretty. I don't know what Michaelmas daisies are. Man's white vest, matching buttons down front, brown linsey bodice, black velvet collar with brown buttons down front, gray stuffed petticoat with white waistband, very old green alpaca skirt worn as undergarment, very old ragged blue skirt with red flounces, light twill lining. Worn as undergarment. Ooh, she must have been warm. White calico chemise. Pair of men's lace-up boots. Mohair laces. Mohair laces. Very interesting because, you know, I work with yarn. When I have mohair, it's a very, very, very thin yarn. I think it's wool. It's very soft. I actually kind of enjoy it, but it's usually really thin. But I wonder how shoelaces would be like in that. Obviously, this probably prepared a different way to make them usable, but also I'm just saying I work with like the beginning of mohair before it's turned into anything, so I don't know. Okay, right boot repaired with red thread, one piece of red gauze silk worn as an like a kerchief thing. Okay, one large white pocket handkerchief, one large white cotton handkerchief with red and white bird's eye border, two unbleached calico pockets, taped strings, one blue stripe bed tickling pocket, brown ribbed knee stockings darned with white cotton. Possessions: two small blue bags, two short clay pipes, one tin box containing tea, one tin box containing sugar, one tin matchbox, empty, 12 pieces white rag, one piece coarse linen, white, one piece of blue and white shirting, three-cornered, one piece red flannel with pins and needles. I mean, I don't know what, like, some of this is like, I'm not even really connecting these words in my mind in any capacity. 6 pieces soap, one small tooth comb, one white handled table knife, one metal spoon, one red leather cigarette case with white metal fittings, one ball hemp, one piece of old white apron with repair, several buttons and a thimble, mustard tin containing 2 pawn tickets, one in the name of Emily Barrel, 52 White's Row, dated August 31st, 9D. Oh, 9D, what's this, DOS? 9 DOS, right? For a man's flannel shirt. Is that what D stands for? I can't remember. The other is in the name of Jane Kelly of 6 Dorset Street and dated September 28th. 2 shillings, I think, 2S, right? For a pair of men's boots. These must be like receipts or something. Oh, she said 2 pawn tickets. This is stuff that she pawned. Both addresses are false. Printed handbill. Portion of a pair of spectacles. 1 red mitten. Who carries a ball of hemp? Hey, man. We're not a judge. I have hemp, but like I said, it's all yarn. I have all this yarn in different materials. Who carries all this? She had everything that I can't even tell if you really would need it, but she had it. She was prepared for whatever. Okay, this is the map of where we are. Uh, Plap, Blap of Meter Square and surroundings. Scene of murder. 1:45 a.m. Sunday, September 30th, 1888. For further details, see plan. Imperial Club, Synagogue, Church Passage, something, St. James Passage, Meter Square, Meter Street. How does he have this old map anyways? But I mean, it's Sherlock. What am I questioning him for? Okay, I'm Sherlock. Shoot, that was a long note, so I don't even know what I'm doing here. Okay, we need to find the exits. Watson, there's 3 possible ways to escape this place. So, I don't even remember where we came in from. Let's look around. Gosh, I wish... Oh, what's this? Oh, yeah, I get that. Is this a flashlight? Turn this on immediately.
We must, first and foremost, locate the 3 exits leading to Mitre Square, Watson.
We got matches and we got this. We need to hook it up.
Take the lantern, Watson.
Take it and be Rudolph for us. Thank you, Jesus. Why didn't we have that from the beginning? Okay. That helped a lot. Alright. Let's look for exits. This is apparently not one of them. Okay, he's such a good chap. Yeah, he follows me everywhere. Even though he scares me. Get over here, Watson. I need the light. Ah, good job. He's such a good... he's such a good... I want to call him a good boy so bad, but sounds degrading. Okay. But he's good at what he does. Oh, look at this. Gas. Without heat, smoke, or smell. Benjamin something. Globe lights. Handy knife cleaner. Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that one. I love the... Oh, my gosh. This is so deadly. St. James Passage, Watson. Are you ready for this?
This dark and narrow passage leads to St. James's Place.
Places I would never go.
No reason to go that way.
Thank you, Jesus. I'm glad we both agree. Okay, so we found that one, Watson. I think that's significant. Right. Any day now. The hesitation. Okay, this looks like a place.
Church Passage. It
Mm-hmm.
must be opposite the Imperial Club at 16 to 17 Duke Street. Let's go to the end of this lane, Watson.
Let's go to the end of this lane, Watson. If I trip and break my ankle, why are you not in front? Like, this is crazy to me. Oh, look at this, Watson. What's this? Come over here. Watson!
I have
Workstation.
no reason to go that way.
I just gotta look around. I'm a detective, Sherlock. I really wish that why are you, come on. Bruh. Okay, whatever, dude. Why does he have the lantern? Like, ridiculous.
Hello, you must be Abraham Solomonovich, am I right?
Haven't we met?
Yes, that's me. But I know you. You brought a lad to my place to take care of a cat, and I loaned you my mask.
Yeah.
That's me. May I present?
Dr. Watson, of course. Delighted. And you? I have known for a few days that you are a detective by the name of Sherlock Holmes. Is that so?
You don't miss a thing, do you? It was the children who gave me away, am I right?
Or maybe your disguise
They
was
didn't
crap.
want to, but I gained their confidence by offering them
Oh,
a
okay.
small comb and half.
Because this is like the second
They
person
made a
who
good
recognized
deal out
him.
of it, so I don't blame them. However, I must request, as a personal favor, that you do not reveal my identity.
You have my word.
I'd like a piece of cake right now.
Curiosity is just killing me, as you may have guessed. Would it be breaking an oath to confide in me the nature of the investigation that you are leading?
We're looking for a murderer.
Does this spot where we are now in Mitre Square mean anything to
Mitra.
you?
A
Miter.
demon lives in this city, Mr. Holmes. These unmentionable acts degrade the human race and put the Jewish community in terrible danger.
Yes. Yes,
Lots
they
of
do.
rumors are circulating, but they are but rumors. I see you're leaving the Imperial Club. It's a stone's throw away from Mitre Square, and the two
Mitre.
recent murders were most probably discussed in there. Do you know if anyone from the club saw or heard anything that night?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. That night, 3 members of our club saw a woman talking to a man at the very spot where we are standing, a few minutes before the body was found at the end of this passage. Fantastic, Holmes.
3 people?
Calm yourself, Watson. There is nothing at the moment to suggest it was the victim. Can we meet these members?
I am afraid that won't be possible. As soon as the police heard the evidence of these men, they were sworn to silence.
I understand.
What?
But you are working for the good, and I must tell you what I know. One of the 3 men,
Why were they sworn
my
to
friend
silence?
Joseph, left that night with 2 other members of the Imperial Club, Harry and another Joseph. It was around 1:35 a.m., perhaps a bit earlier, when Joseph, not my friend, but the other, the Aldgate butcher, exited. He saw a man and a woman in discussion at this very spot where we are.
These men must have been about 16 feet away from the couple.
That's about right. So Joseph, the butcher, said to the other 2, while pointing at the couple, "Look, I don't like going home alone when I see this kind of people here." My friend Joseph looked at them without noticing anything strange and didn't understand what he meant. They had the look of 2 rather unkempt people, but no more than that.
Alright, very interesting. Very interesting.
After the murder, did these 3 men tell the police what they had seen?
Not quite. Harry stated that he hadn't seen the couple. As for Joseph, the butcher, even though he was the one who commented on them and pointed them out, said that he couldn't remember anything except that the man was about 3 inches taller than the woman, who was 5 feet tall, no more.
Oh, he's short.
My friend Joseph, on the other hand, did his best to cooperate with the police.
That is so interesting to me because I just realized in the Edo's murder, they said that he killed her. Was it the Edo's murder or the Liz murder? Did we do Edo's body? I don't remember. Oh gosh, I have to remember this. We looked at a body. No, we only did the, okay, so Liz is 5. How tall is she? She's like 5'6"? I gotta look at my notes. Anyways, he's 3 inches taller than her. Never mind. I thought it was because Edo's is 5 foot. So I was like, oh, he's 5'3". But he's not. He's not. Yeah.
And what did your friend Joseph say? What did this man and woman look like?
The man must have been 30 years old, about 5'7", light complexion, and a fair moustache. He wore a loose, dark jacket, a grey cap, and a red scarf around his neck.
A red scarf?
But he said that he only saw him for a brief instant, and it would be impossible to recognize him.
And the woman?
He only saw her from behind. She had her hand on the man's stomach and seemed to be pushing him. He said that he remembered that she was small, was wearing a black jacket and a black bonnet. After his testimony, the police took him to see the clothing of the deceased, and Joseph said that they looked identical to those of the woman he had seen. Like I already said, he only glanced at the two, as he was headed with the others in the direction of Aldgate.
One final question. The Imperial Club is a Jewish club, isn't that correct?
Indeed.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Solomonovich.
Bah, it was nothing. We must at all cost prevent this demon from striking again, and the police seem to have some difficulty in doing that. I wish you the best of luck, Mr. Holmes.
Okay, hold a second. I think I got something mixed up. The guy said that his friend, Joseph, not his friend, but the butcher, he said that the guy was 3 inches taller than Edo's, right? Because that's who this is the murder we're investigating. But that doesn't make any sense because I thought when we were doing Liz Stride, it was established that they were the same height, and she's taller than Edo's. But is she she's not 5? Wait, is she 5'3"? What am I looking at right now? Where am I looking at? Where's what I would need? How tall is Liz? Is 5'5". Okay, so that, I mean, maybe we're just off. Maybe he's like, because she's only 5 inches taller than her, and if the guy is 3 inches taller than Edo's, then it's kind of he was the same height as Liz. This is so not important, but he could be around 5'5". Is what I'm trying to say. We also have notes, which I'm going to read right now to make sure everything stays fresh-ish in my mind. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Dutfield's Yard, night of October 7th, 1888. Now, I do realize it goes over what we just talked about, but I feel like it adds more details, and I like it. Okay. Watson's interrogation of P.C. Smith has revealed to be very interesting. We now possess all the elements necessary to reenact the murder of Liz Stride. Yeah, we already did that, actually. At midnight, the club's meeting ends. Okay, I'm getting so confused. Okay, I'm getting confused because the Liz Stride murder and the Edo's murder were so close together-ish, like 20 to 40 minutes-ish. Okay. At midnight, the club meeting ends. The participants, primarily Jewish men, leave the club gradually in little groups or alone. Between 12:30 and 12:35 a.m., P.C. Smith notices Liz Stride speaking with the man with the packet. Liz Stride was a known prostitute. No doubt she was looking for a client at that time of night. The barman at the Wasp Nest told me that prostitutes rarely came here, and that Liz Stride must have had a reason to be here. Scores of men all passing by the same spot and being free after the meeting represented a guaranteed opportunity to a prostitute. Thus, Liz Stride wasn't seen by the American in front of the club, or she would have certainly have been remarked if she was loitering about. She came either to begin to accost the men who were leaving the meeting at that moment, or because she and the man with the packet came here specifically to discreetly conduct their transaction in the darkness of Dutfield's Yard. At 12:40 a.m., Eagle, the president of the association, enters the workers' club via the passage through Dutfield's Yard. He didn't pay any attention to who might have been in the street. He must have been anxious to get in and meet what am I saying? He must have been anxious to get in, and all of his thoughts were occupied by that evening's meeting. If Stride... Where are we? The evening's... Oh gosh, where are we? What the heck? This is so long. Where is the beginning of the notes? If Stride... Okay. If Stride... Oh my gosh. Let me calm down. If Stride didn't have a client, she would certainly have approached him. Thus, she must have found one with whom she had to discuss the practical details of their upcoming transaction. But most importantly, he passed through Duffield's yard and would have gone the shortest way. If Liz Stride had already been killed, there is no way he could have not walked over her. The murder, therefore, had not been committed. At 12:45 a.m., Israel Schwartz passed by Dufield's yard and witnesses the attack on Liz Stride, who we haven't spoken to. Observe firstly that the attacker wanted to draw his victim towards the road. This is completely incompatible with a discreet killer. Observe firstly that the attacker wanted to draw his victim towards the road. This is completely incompatible with the discreet killer. He gripped the woman by the shoulders to finally throw her violently to the ground. She screamed very little and not loudly, which is curious for someone in danger. Yeah, maybe his testimony is wrong, because that's not even what we established when we found her body. The only explanation is that she didn't feel herself to be in danger, possibly because she knew her attacker and or knew that he was only going to give her a beating. Furthermore, she perhaps didn't want to attract the attention of the neighborhood in order to not lose her client who was behind in the passage. Schwartz changes sidewalks. The attacker sees him and shouts blah. First of all, Schwartz is Hungarian and doesn't speak English. It is possible that the attacker said a word or two more than just the, and that Schwartz didn't pick them up. No doubt, also in order to not draw the attention of this violent man to himself, Schwartz turned his head when he passed in front of the man and didn't see what the man was doing when he shouted his name. He saw the man who was lighting his cigarette further down and was advancing in a menacing fashion. That is currently used to designate a Jewish man in this borough, and everything indicates that Mr. Schwartz is a very stereotypical Israelite without intending offense. Yeah, this is why I'm not using it, because I feel like if you're going to generalize a group of people, it's negative. I don't like it. You come up with a word to describe people, I don't like it. I'm not doing it, okay? The attacker must have shouted to his accomplice at the end of the road, indicating Schwartz with a sign of the head. It's so dehumanizing, okay? I don't like it. All right. Did I emphasize that enough? This is ridiculous. And they're using it. The person who we first heard this from, I'm sure it was the bartender, and he seemed like, I told you, not a man who was open to other cultures and people. And it was like he used it like with contempt, you know. I'm not playing this game. All right, blah da da. Ended road indicating Schwartz with a sign of the head in order to with his accomplice gets rid of this undesirable. Yeah, language can be a mean thing if used in certain ways. Absolutely, literally anything. You could be like, you could just call somebody cheese, you know, and it could be mean. I just think that's ridiculous. I think humans are ridiculous, but it's 3 in the morning. So Schwartz flees, followed for a few feet by this man. Schwartz is a man of a certain age. If his attacker, whom he didn't describe as an old man, wanted to, he could certainly have caught him. He simply got rid of Schwartz. I don't think he would have acted in such a casual manner if he knew that his accomplice was committing a murder a few feet from there. Yo, any fellow cheeses in chat? Honestly, if I could be a food, I'd probably be cheese. I love cheese, actually. It's just like a luxury to have now. Like, it's so my favorite cheese. I'm so like I don't know a lot about cheese, I'll be honest. Like I don't know a lot of cheeses. I haven't tried a bunch. But I love sharp cheddar. That's my favorite cheese. It's so pungent. It hurts when you eat it initially. If you like just take some and just eat it. I love that feeling. Where am I? Okay, he simply got rid of Schwartz. I don't think he would have acted in such a casual manner if he knew that his accomplice was committing a murder a few feet from there. I also think that as the police regularly patrol the area, the two men must not The two men must not hang lagged around for long in the vicinity. They could have supposed that this witness to attack would go to get help, which unfortunately he did not do. I still don't think there was a second person. I don't know. And finally, between 12:45 and 1 a.m., the murder. It took place right here because the marks of blood were very localized. Very localized. At 1 a.m., I forgot how they said this word, Demschutz wants to enter with his cart pulled by a pony. Ponies, like all equines, have a tendency to react nervously when they smell fear in humans nearby, which is why I will never ride a horse, because I would be terrified, which is why I don't even really like being around dogs. I cannot hide my fear, and I know they can smell me. I know they can tell I'm a cat person and all these things. I know. I'm so afraid. Like everything in a 1,000 mile radius that is an animal can tell that I'm scared of it. I'm not scared of humans, but animals, they're so unpredictable to me. I'm not scared of cats either. I should point that out. Okay, I'm not scared of birds. All right, let me stop talking. Thus, that night, the pony categorically refused to enter into an area that was very familiar to it. It neighed and wouldn't move. The reason was that there was lots of fear between these walls. As soon as Diamond Shoots saw the body, he rushed into the building to see if his wife was fine and didn't return until a few minutes later. Good husband. If the arrival of Diamond Shoots had disturbed the killer, he could have hidden in a dark corner while the former called his mount and profited from the moments that Diamond Shoots passed inside the club looking for his wife to steal away. Now, I want to talk about this real quick. There's two murders back to back, right? Okay. In the movie From Hell, I can't remember 100%. Go see that movie. That was great. But I'm pretty sure that the Jack the Ripper in that movie had someone helping them. Like, they had a cart so that they could, like, get in and out. Like a cart or carriage is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if this is what's going to be implied in this game. But Sherlock and Watson walked from point A to point B. And they were like, it only took us 20 minutes to get here. So, I don't know. I don't know why he would have a cart, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying things. The opening of the door and it's like looking for his wife's away. The killer could have entered the club to escape Dimeshut's sight, but the risk was great. The opening of the door could not have missed alerting Dimeshut's, not only by the light generated, but also by the singing becoming suddenly louder. Singing? What? The murder took place between 12:45 and 1 a.m. Observations regarding the victim. On the throat there is but one wound, and this one proved to be mortal. The blow was slightly oblique and descending, given from a position slightly to the right of the victim, from the left to the right. Sorry if I'm reading too fast. We can deduce that the man is right-handed because a single backhanded blow would have both the correct angle and sufficient force. The knees and the skirt aren't as dirty as they should be. The place where Liz Stride was found dead is particularly muddy. Thus, if the victim was forced to the ground by her murderer, the bottom of her clothes would be covered in mud. There isn't any except at the contact points between the body and the ground. This woman and her killer were standing at the moment of the mortal blow. If he was taller or shorter, the blade's angle of penetration wouldn't have been as neat. The man knew where to strike and how to strike. He gave a sharp, violent, backhanded blow with his knife. The victim collapsed and her blood drained out. Recent traumas were noticed on the shoulders. They were certainly due to the attack that this woman was subject to and which Schwartz witnessed. Wait, so did he actually see her get sliced? The right hand is covered slightly with blood, as well as the wrist. She put this hand up to her throat just after being injured and then collapsed. Very little blood. The knife blow didn't completely slice through the carotid. The wound made by a fine, sharp blade didn't open completely until after the body settled to the ground. That is why there wasn't a big spatter against the wall at the victim's neck height, even though the blow was struck while she was standing. The left hand is closed around a sack of pastils. There are two options. The first is that Listride's killer and her attacker, seen by Schwartz, are one and the same. The two people know each other and are arguing about something or other. The man loses his composure, gets out his knife, and kills Listride. I don't think he did it in anger. If it's Jack the Ripper, he did it because he wanted to. Okay. He then flees with his accomplice from the end of the road, and his crime is attributed to Jack the Ripper. What the heck? These theories, I don't like these theories. I don't think there's a second man. I don't think there's an accomplice in this situation, and that, they're hoping that it's not him. And I gotta drink water. Because even the way they describe the murder, like, what kind of heated argument is that where you're just all of a sudden you're just talking and you get mad and you just slice someone like that? I'm not saying it's not possible. Obviously, it could probably happen 1,000 times since the world has been alive. That's how I think of things. Hold on, excuse me. Like, if you can think it, it's happened at least 1,000 times. That's how I believe in things. Sue doesn't need these theories. She already knows. Listen, I'm just not vibing with where this is going, but I'm trying to stay open-minded. What's the second one? Okay, the second is that Liz Stride meets a client. After a discussion, they head towards Duffield's yard to get it over with. They have barely entered when the attacker appears while his partner keeps an eye out. What? Attacks on prostitutes before, during, and after their tricks by groups of thugs happen dozens of times per week in the area. These men extort and menace them, Leather Apron being a perfect example. And I remember, I don't know if I said it, but I'm pretty sure I did earlier in one of my gameplays of this game. There was a murder before the Jack the Ripper murders started. And it was this lady who was a prostitute. This is a real thing that I read. And it was one of the documents from back then. I have this encyclopedia on Jack the Ripper. Okay. She was beat, I think, with a pipe or something like that. She had like internal bleeding or something like this and robbed. And it was around the same time, same demographic, prostitute lady. But it was a group of people and she was robbed. It was like not like the other murders. So I don't know. I'm trying to make a connection here, and I don't know where I was going with this, but I mean, they saying that this was like a common thing, and I'm just saying that did happen, and blah. Okay, and blah. That's how you end a sentence. These attacks are also the acts of pimps and/or companions, which could be the case here. In short, the man assaults her, but the rival of Schwartz dissuades the two men from staying. They leave the area not without one last threat and leave Lestrade on the ground, but certainly happy to have kept her client. But we didn't notice any bruising or like her being beat up. And if she was, she would be muddy. So how is this? What are like? I don't understand. They said that wasn't even the case. I doubt this one intervened to put an end to the altercation. Nevertheless, business resumed, but Liz's client proves to be ever more dangerous than the man who beat her. There's no evidence that she was beat, Sherlock. He will be her murderer. The two hypotheses are possible, but an incongruous detail will confirm one. An incongruous detail that we were able to observe at the Hanbury Street murder. The sack of pastils. If this woman had to defend herself against an attacker, why would she have this sack in her hand? I guess I need to just calm down and when I'm playing this game, because I know things outside of the game, but like Sherlock and Watson don't. they're there in real time. I'm here in 2023 where there's 6 million books about Jack the Ripper and just as many documentaries and all this and that. Like I gotta give them the benefit of the doubt. I realize I need to give them some grace. Like they don't know about all this stuff yet. Okay. Okay, so she had the pastels in her hand. Why would she have this in her hand? And if she had it before the attack, she would certainly have dropped it while defending herself. The only explanation concerning the presence of the pastels is that they were in the victim's hand when the fatal blow was struck by surprise. They didn't fall because this woman's hand tensed as she fell to the ground. It's a known reflex when we sense losing consciousness with an object in hand. I do not think that these pastils were precious, but in the moment, letting them fall in the mud signified their loss. Thus, we know that our Whitechapel killer distracted his victim's attention by making them get something from their pockets. Why didn't he strangle her like the others? This Liz defended herself for a few instants against a strong attacker. What is the evidence that she defended herself? Where was that? He must have feared a struggle against this gutsy woman. Furthermore, she was taller and sturdier than the other victims. At 5'5", huh? This must have affected the killer's attitude. Why didn't he disembowel her? Because he was distracted. Louis Dimeschutz arrived at the moment he was about to begin his work. He's answered his own questions. The Whitechapel killer is definitely behind this killing, and this murderer, attributed to its rightful author, will take on an even greater significance when we will have examined the facts arising that night. The next step in our reenactment is found at, what do you say? Meter? Mitre? Mitre? What do you say? Mitre? Mitre? I forgot what he said. Square, where Captain Eddowes died 40 minutes later. Ah, okay. Very interesting. Oh my goodness. So we're about to investigate Catherine Eddowes' murder. That's wonderful. Alright. I think I can do it. I can do it. I would say like, should I go to bed? No, I'm gonna investigate Catherine's murder if it's right, if it's the next thing, right?
We must, first and foremost, locate the 3 exits leading to Mitre Square, Watson.
Okay, well this is where the social club is. Our great synagogue of London, open every day from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Rabbi Nathan Marcus Adler. That's a long time to be open.
Closed.
Yeah, it's like 1 in the morning. Let's see if I can read this. Listen, I actually took Hebrew. I took Biblical Hebrew and I took Modern Hebrew. Biblical Hebrew is great because it has the vowel markings under the word, under the letters. So like I could guess what this says. I could guess this, but I don't know if I could be right because there's so many different possible vowel markings that it could be. But none of the words stick out. Haggadah? Haggadol? I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know the vowels. Let's go. I wasn't reading that in order. I went from top to bottom, by the way. Just in case you're like, what are you saying? I did the 2 words on the right. Hebrew's read from right to left. Like a manga. I'm not gonna butcher it right now. Not now. Later. Oh, Imperial Club, Jewish okay, oh my god, I can't even read English. Jewish Entrepreneur Club.
The Imperial Club.
Ah, this is the Imperial Club.
I have no reason to go that way.
I forgot what we were doing here. Okay, Watson, you're my candlelight. We're looking for possible exits. Which I thought, like, we were getting somewhere, but Sherlock wanted to have a conversation, so... Okay, so should we go back the way we came? I'm not just, like, gallivanting, because I need the light.
Nothing of interest here.
Okay, okay. I don't even know where we are anymore. Where's that little alleyway, dude? Like, it is so... Like, it is really dark. It's really scary, actually. If you're, like, walking alone, you can't even see when there's an alley you can get snatched into. Alright, so shall we go back this way, Sherlock? Let's go back this way. There's nothing in that corner, we decided. I don't think we went this way. Come on, Watson? Come on, Watson! Put some pep in your...
We are now in the exact spot where poor Eddowes tragically ended her days.
I don't know if she ended her days.
Very dark, Holmes.
That is probably why our murderer chose it.
Wow, okay, we're really witnessing something here. Content warning, excuse me. Remember, this is the lady who had a ton of stuff in her pocket and layers and layers and layers of clothing. This is so gruesome. Okay, let's just get this over with.
The head is turned towards the left. The murderer must have been on the right side of his victim. Let's look at her from the front.
Okay. He take her nose? I don't remember all of these details. The last victim got the worst of it in terms of mutilation, from what I know. I don't remember her name, but we haven't gotten to her yet in this game. Okay, let's get this out. All right, it's not... Okay, let me not. Ooh, this doesn't look good. This looks so bad. I don't have nightmares.
The eyelids were cut off.
Did you hear that? Catherine Eddowes' eyelids were cut. All right, good to know. Thank you, Sherlock. Her nose was also cut off.
The nose was cut.
Dude, this is... Okay, it's not funny, right? But, like, this is that meme. This is, like, one of the first things I ever heard on TikTok. There's this meme about, like women. Like, oh, they love to, like, watch crime shows. And they just can, like, eat anything. And, like, in the background, it'll be like, her eyes were cut off. Her nose were cut off. Her mouth was cut off. And, just him, the way he's saying it, it, like, it sounds just like that. And it's dark. She's got lots of cuts.
The cheeks were slashed to make them thinner.
This is very interesting, I have to say. He really did a number.
There is but one wound, Watson. It goes from the left side and descends in a slight oblique towards the right side.
Yes, the true crime fans with iron stomachs. Yes, exactly. Okay, are we done here, Sherlock? Can we go to a different location? What did he say?
The cheeks were slashed to make them thinner.
Well, I want to...
There is but one wound, Watson. It goes from the left side and descends in a slight oblique towards the right side.
Okay, so this one goes from left to right. Very interesting. Sherlock. Let's go down. Oh, wait, there's something here? There's something to investigate? Okay, put that down. Alright, let's investigate the entrails.
The main incision goes from the sternum all the way down to the groin. The murderer opened this abdomen as if it were an animal carcass. A kidney was removed. The uterus was removed.
Kidney, yeah. I think this is the one where he writes it to the police and he's like, I ate some of the kidney. Like that. Snuggling into cute pushkin blankies and watching mutilation. Do you really have Pusheen? Pusheen's that cat, that super cute cat. You know, you have to, you know, it's balance. You're gonna watch something dark. Make sure you have lots of cute stuff around you. My thing, I like pink. Everything I have is pink. My mouse is pink. This is my mouse pad. This is my music diary. My phone is propped up against a pink water bottle. I have a ton of pillows with flowers everywhere. Yeah. It's the true, yes, it's the true yin yang experience when you're a true crime buff. You can't just have all the darkness, you know? Like, it took me a while to actually be this way because I used to be all just like, all grim and gruesome. And then I was like, oh, I like pink. I like flowers. I was like a tomboy actually growing up. I always forget that phase of my life. That was like a huge part of my life. Okay, where are we?
These intestines were pulled out altogether to grant access to the abdomen. A thimble is located right beside one of the victim's hands, just like Chapman's sachet of pills and Stride's pastils.
Pastels. There's a ton of notes on this. Yeah.
The inside of the thighs is clean. Once again, there were no sexual relations between the victim and her murderer.
I told you in the lore of Jack the Ripper, one of the people who they think, Walter Sickert, he had an operation when he was young down there, so he couldn't blah. And a lot of serial killers who do this kind of stuff to women, they are not able to physically non-consensually consummate anything. So they resort to these kind of crimes because it's the only way that they can feel any sort of enjoyment in that regard. And there's a specific word for it as well. And let me see if I can remember it. I don't know if I can say it, but it's like, I think it's called, the scientific term, I think it's sexual excitation killers. I think that's what they're called when it's like that, when they kill for the pleasure, but they don't necessarily physically do that in the way that we know it in nature. Where we're talking about crime, we're investigating this poor lady's demise. You know, it's getting graphic a bit. I'm trying to keep it educational based on stuff that I've read and learned throughout the years. But you know, it's like reigniting these old memories. When I was a teenager, I was so like literally like my teenage years until all of my 20s, basically my whole life. I've just always been fascinated by true crime and stuff, but especially like between probably like 15 and 25, that was like peak for me. And I'm reusing words I haven't used in such a long time.
Part of this apron is missing. We will follow up on that shortly.
Right? Part of the apron's missing. I hate to be looking like at her in this area.
Do these objects spread out by the victim remind us of anything, Watson?
Yes, one of the original other murders.
My goodness, Holmes, it was a slaughter.
Understand, Watson, that our killer had neither the time nor the conditions to bother with the niceties. He had no more than 7 or 8 minutes at most to kill the woman, open her up, and all the while in total darkness.
No more than 7 or 8 minutes?
The poor victim you're talking about.
Consider all the time this man lost and the risks that he actually took by cutting the victim's face and the lower abdomen in around 20 precise spots, especially the lungs and the liver. These attacks, which I considered gratuitous, are in fact nothing of the sort and have as much sense as the removal of the organs. We must, first and foremost, locate the 3 exits leading to Mitre Square, Watson.
We haven't finished watching the exits. You know what's interesting? So like also another thing in crime with these specifically like these types of killers, if they like so in this situation he goes from Liz to Catherine, right? Because he didn't get to spend enough time with Liz, and it creates this kind of like almost like this gluttonous urge to get your fix when your original one wasn't like. Think about it like this: you really are craving something, right? And you want to go eat it, and maybe it wasn't cooked right or something like that, or like it wasn't what you really wanted to eat or something like this. And now because of that, how disappointing that meal was, you go and you order extra, or you know, I don't know if other people do this, but I do this. If I eat something I don't like, it makes me depressed, so I go and I double down on something I really really wanted to eat, especially if I haven't had it in a long time. So I think that's why he went above and beyond here in this situation. What do you think, Watson? Should I leave? I'm leaving. Okay, well, we found where she was murdered. You do that. See? I see. We're relating. We're connecting. We're making connections.
This is Mitre Street, from where Watkins, the constable who found the body, came.
Okay.
Watson, we must now consult our timeline. We began in Dutfield's yard, but this time we will try to recreate the actions of certain people. In this case, those of the 2 policemen. Nothing of interest here.
All right, so we're doing the timeline now. Are we deducting? Oh yes. Okay. Murder of Catherine Eddowes. Mitre. Is it Mitre? Okay. Catherine Eddowes' cheeks were slashed to become. Okay. Catherine Eddowes' eyelids were cut. Her cheeks were slashed to become thinner. Oh, wait. Oh my goodness. Her nose was cut as well. Okay, we'll put that there. Well, her cheeks were cut. Where do you want to put that? Okay. Kidney and uterus were removed. Where do you want to put this, Sherlock? Okay. Oh, that wasn't that good. So yesterday at home, I made an extra creamy, smoky cheese mac and cheese. Oh, that sounds so good. Mac and cheese can do no wrong in my eyes. What a perfect meal. Any variation of mac and cheese. Except I don't actually like bacon in mac and cheese. I love bacon. I don't like ham in general, like ham, right? I love bacon, but like I don't like either in mac and cheese. Why am I even talking about ham? Ham is not even on the menu. I don't like bacon in mac and cheese. Maybe if the bacon was super, 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 super crispy and like crunchy, but like if it's any I like chewy bacon, I don't like. I like my bacon kind of burnt. Anyways, I'm just saying mac and cheese is so good. I don't put meat in mine though. No, yeah, no, I don't put meat in my mac and cheese either. I'm just saying that I eat all kinds of mac and cheese. That's what I'm saying. I've had mac and cheese with hot Cheetos in it before. Sometimes I chop up a red onion very fine and mix it through the sauce. Oh, interesting. Do you know, over the last year, I have become addicted to red onions because like I'm gradually learning what vegetables I like. Red onions, top tier vegetable. I had a phase recently where I was putting them in absolutely everything. Everything. And so I haven't eaten them in a while, but I do have pizzas in the freezer. They're barbecue chicken pizzas and they have red onions in that. So that is gonna satiate that craving if it comes up again. I'm so hungry, and that's ridiculous because it's 3:30 in the morning. I can't be hungry right now. Logically, Catherine Eddowes' liver and lungs underwent small incisions. Where are we gonna put that? Oh yeah, he mutilated her. Let's see. Catherine Eddowes' murderer hates kidneys. Sherlock is a jokester. He hates kidneys. Really? That's one of the conclusions? Murderer knew anatomy. Murderer did not. He knew anatomy. Are we in second grade? Okay. A thimble is found right beside the victim's hand. The items were meant for a woman. The murderer is a woman. These objects were before the murder. The items found to the victim. Thimble was found. Catherine Eddowes' murderer lost a thimble, held a thimble in her hand, struggled. She had a thimble in her hand. And then the murderers finishes. The murderers searched Catherine Eddowes. Some of these options are ridiculous. Okay, so are we done deducing? Forget. It's not always clear. That was the deduction. Are we doing conclusion? Oh my goodness. Are we doing conclusions? Investigate into the Whitechapel. Okay. Okay, wait. There's some things we haven't been doing here. Right, there's no orchid trafficking. Annie Chapman's rings were worthless. Okay. I mean, oh, sure. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Look at our timeline, Watson.
Okay, timeline. See, I don't know, it could be so many things. All right. We're still trying to find when she died in this 15-minute window. Okay. 1:30 a.m. PC Watkins enters Mitre Square. 1:30 in the morning he enters.
1:30 a.m. PC Watkins didn't see the corpse while on his rounds.
Okay.
If PC Watkins did his rounds properly, and there is no reason to doubt this was the case, as he discovered the corpse a quarter of an hour later, the murder hadn't yet taken place, and there was no one in Mitre Square, unless they were hidden among the shadows. Enter Mitre Square via Mitre Street, Watson, and stop and try to see me with the lantern. I will be where poor Eddowes' corpse was.
What? What am I supposed to do? Come alone? Okay, and did Sherlock take the lantern? Wait, what did he tell me to do? Enter Mitre Square from where? Where PC what was? It's so dark, Sherlock. I don't want to do this. Oh my gosh. All I know, didn't she die in this corner? I can't even remember. He got the wrong person for the job right now. I wasn't listening, Sherlock! Enter Mitre Square via Mitre Street, Watson, and stop and try to see me with the lantern. I'll be where poor Edo's corpse was. Okay, 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 okay. Ooh, that's so creepy. I hate this. Okay. Enter from Mitre Street. Where's our little map? Can't believe we're using this. Not this map. The old map. I don't know where I am on this map.
I
think...
have no reason to go that
Okay,
way.
okay. That's okay. I'll really just need to walk around and start looking for him with the lantern. It is so dark. I mean, the Jack the Ripper must have a lantern because, like, how is he cutting up those people perfectly in the dark? Look how dark it is. I swear, if Sherlock pops up and does like a jump scare, I'll never talk to him again. My brother used to do that to me so much when I was little. Oh my god, that pissed me off. I can't even. Oh my goodness, I do not like when people do stuff like that. That's how I'll never talk to you again.
I have no reason to go that way.
I don't like being scared unnecessarily. Like, we have horror movies for that. But, like, you purposely scaring somebody? It's terrible. Don't do that. I don't know where we are, Watson. Especially without our lantern. I haven't... Like, he's supposed to be standing somewhere where the murder was. But just waiting for me to find him. Oh, it's so creepy. Oh, you Sherlock! Look, I told you he was going to scare me. Look at him standing in the dark. He said with the lantern. You don't even have the lantern.
Mitre Square via Mitre Street, Watson, and stop and try to see me with the lantern. I will be where poor Edow's corpse was.
Okay. Enter. Okay, so he's... Okay. Enter Mitre's... Okay, with the lantern. I have the lantern. Okay. I enter with the lantern from Mitre Square. Into... Oh, there he is. Ew. He's so creepy.
I see you, Holmes.
Perfect, Watson. Let's look at our timeline, Watson.
They said originally that they didn't find this body till 1:44 in the morning. The murder hadn't yet taken place at 1:30 a.m. Okay, so...
Very good, Watson. Thus we can categorically state that the murder had not yet occurred at 1:30.
For Edo's, which is very interesting. Okay, so, like, Liz died here. And then he said it takes about 20 minutes to get to where Edo's is. If this guy's patrolling, murder's probably going to wait a little bit and then, like, do the deeds or something like this. 1:35 a.m., a man and woman are in discussion at the entrance at the church passage. Right.
1:35 a.m., a man and a woman are arguing at the entrance of the church passage. The man came from Aldgate.
1:42 a.m., PC Harvey arrives in Mitre Square, and then shortly after that, he discovers the body.
1:42 a.m., PC Harvey arrives in Mitre Square.
Yeah.
It should be noted, Watson, that the constable didn't enter Mitre Square. He could not have seen the corpse lying on the ground. But would he have been able to see a man sitting or standing? Go to the church passage entrance, then come back and try to see me while holding your lantern. I will stay at the spot where the victim was discovered.
I'm telling you right now, you're not seeing nothing. This lantern is not casting the light you think it is. Okay, now I don't even know where he is. I can see him kinda. I guess I could see him if I come this way.
I see you, Holmes.
You had to proceed into the square in order to see me.
Yeah.
Something Harvey didn't do. It is possible that the killer was still there.
Yeah, look how dark it is, dude.
2 a.m. PC Harvey arrives at Mitre Square, but does not go in. The murderer may well have still been there.
Creepy. So creepy. 1:44 a.m. the body is discovered. Like it's so like this is one of the most fascinating things to me about like murders that take place in like the 19th century and post, just throughout history. The lack of technology and all this stuff. Like it's kind of terrifying to think of what you could get away with. And this is so not necessarily related, but kind of. I was watching this video and they were talking about these prisons in France. I'm pretty sure it was France. And there's this part, like prisons are like underground. And then there's this part in the prison, I forgot what it's called. It's like a word. Gosh, let me look it up real quick. Because I think it's like something, you know how like a word becomes a phrase later on? I think it was like one of those kinds of words and it creeped me out. Now, hold on. Okay. Oh, yes, an oubliette. I cannot believe that I found this word. I typed in French prison with cage basement. Oh my goodness, oubliette. Oh, it's so terrifying. Okay, like, okay, let me save this because this is so like it's a dungeon, right? But like bottle dungeon. Yes, okay, this is why it was so creepy. Oubliette from French oublier, meaning to forget, or bottle dungeon is a basement room which is accessible only from a hatch or a hole in a high ceiling. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's so terrifying. I'm gonna read about that later. Okay, because like, okay, so like basically what I'm trying to say, why am I connecting these things? Get your thoughts together. Why am I connecting this? Oh, because this is something like back in the day. You go to prison in France back in the day, maybe they especially didn't like you, and they put you in the oubliette, in the dungeon in the ground, right? You're already underground, and now you're underground. And like all the waste water and all the rain like comes and fills up that area, and you like starve to death in like the most gruesome way possible. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like so scary to think about. Like that's like my nightmare. I'm claustrophobic, but like that's just terrifying to be for literally like forgotten, like they say that's what the word means, to be forgotten down there like that. And who knows, like if you were just if somebody didn't even like you could do whatever you want. In fact, I should have connected this also. So in Africa, on the West Coast, in like I don't know what countries. I think Nigeria is one of them, but they have, the like slave ports where they would kidnap people and take them, and then they put them in these ports to get on the ships. And they have those kinds of like oubliette type little rooms, you know, like these small tiny rooms where everybody's cramped together. And like it's so inhuman, like to see the pictures and see how, because you can do tours now in those kinds of places. I mean, you can do tours everywhere, everything I'm talking about, but like it's just like this is terrifying. It's terrifying. He said, "Oh, you're quoting something. The prisoner would be dropped into the cell and easily forgotten. The only way out was by a rope or a ladder. But prisoners were not typically released from this form of imprisonment. Yeah, no getting out. It's so much like there are books about like this kind of history and things like humans are disgusting, and I really wanna believe in the good of man as a species, a whole. But the history has proven to be so sad. And I feel like a lot of the reason that stuff like that isn't happening anymore is because there's witnesses. I don't know, like people can see you now, and like being shamed out of society is maybe like a big deal. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that we have a stronger moral compass. I'm not gonna say that. I don't necessarily believe that. I think it's just because more people are watching. But I'll write my paper on that later. Finish playing this video game. The body is discovered.
1:44 a.m. The body is discovered. Let's put the murder of poor Eddowes on the timeline, Watson.
Let's do it. I thought we did that. Okay. Okay. Between 1:35 and 1:42 a.m., the murder of Captain Eddowes took place. 1:35 and 1:42.
1:35 and 1:42
Really short
a.m.
window.
The murder would appear to have taken place between these times, that is to say, within 7 minutes.
Agreed, Holmes. But does this really prove that our killer had the time to perpetrate these two murders?
Let's look at our timeline, Watson.
What's is interesting is like the timeline between Liz's murder is a lot wider than Catherine's, and he did way more work on Catherine, I have to say. My brain is way too active for 3:44 in the morning, and I am way too hungry. And the worst part of it all is that they're doing construction actively now. And yesterday was a holiday, and now Tuesday they're gonna full force. They're gonna come with their hammers and their tools, and I'm not gonna get the best sleep. I really need to get some noise canceling headphones, but I'm kind of scared of them because I like to hear things. I'm actually kind of a light sleeper, which is really messing me up because I don't like jumping out of my sleep, but I do. And so like, but I need to get some. I need to get some because I need to get sleep. Like I seriously need sleep or I'll lose it. I'll lose my mind. 4 a.m. philosophy with Saru. The things that you don't expect to do on a late Monday or a early Tuesday, depending on how you look at it. I actually still consider this day Monday. It's always the same day for me until I go to sleep. The day does not start anew until I have fallen asleep. Sherlock and Watson took 20 minutes to go from Dutfield's Yard to Meter Square. Mitre Square. That's right, they sure did. They took 20 minutes to go from Dutfield's. Okay, well, where do you want to? What? Where? What? What is? How am I gonna? Where am I gonna put this at? I mean, I don't even. This doesn't make sense on a timeline. They took 20 minutes. We should be putting this on a map. Like, I don't know exactly from where.
There, Watson.
Okay,
We are now
perfect.
certain that the murderer really had the time to commit these 2 murders.
Incredible.
Let's look at our deduction board, Watson.
Let's deduce. Let's deduce, Sherlock. He doesn't look at me in the eye when he's talking to me. That's very interesting. Let's deduce. I'm hungry. Oh my gosh. Wow. What are we? Okay, here we are. The wound to the neck goes from right and slightly oblique and descending. The wound to the neck goes from the right and slightly oblique and descending. I thought they said that they sliced her from the left to the right. The murderer was behind the victim. The blow was fierce and instantaneous. The murderer wanted to decapitate the victim. Did he? Probably. The murderer is a bit shorter than the victim. The wound is superficial. The wound is the same kind as that of Elstride. This lady is 5 foot. He's not shorter than her. You said the wound is at the same kind. Yeah, this is the same kind of wound though. The items at the victim's feet are very orderly. A piece of Edo's white apron was cut out. Yeah, well, I don't know why. Why was her apron? I guess it's part of the ritual. We cut her apron. The objects fell by. No, they did not. Catherine Eddowes Carroll lacks order. The murderer is unfeeling and organized. Yeah. The central incision goes from the sternum downwards toward the groin. The murderer is ambidextrous. The murderer is right-handed. We know he's right-handed. We've established this 1,000. It's not. He's not. Why is it red? Why is it red? The murderer is left-handed. The murderer is ambidextrous. Or maybe it's just red in general. Okay, I think it's just. Okay, that's weird. That's weird. That's weird. Okay. I was getting confused because I'm so used to the green meaning correct. Catherine Eddowes died the same way as Liz Stride. Yeah. Catherine murderer is short and left-handed. An accomplice of Elstride's murderer killed. No. Elstride's murderer did not know. They have the same murderer. What? They're saying that this is not the same? Catherine. How is that wrong? Wait, what's this? The murderer cut open the stomach in a surgical manner. The murderer opened Catherine Eddowes' abdomen like the fat of an animal. The murderer cut open the stomach randomly. Come on. Yo, something is wrong. Something is wrong here with my clues. Which makes no sense to me. How? There's no way that we just decided, based on what he said, that this guy had time to commit both murders. And that he's right-handed. There's no way it's any of these. So one of my little clues must be wrong. What? Which one of my clues is wrong? The murderer, maybe this one, did he want to decapitate her? I don't know if the blow was fierce and instantaneous. It was. It was. That's me. That's all me. Okay, what else? The murderer cut open the stomach in a surgical manner. I guess it wasn't surgical. Was I not listening? Was it kind of rushed?
This spot is making me nauseous.
Whatever.
Can we not head back home?
I can't get them all right.
We certainly can't, Watson. We have one final point to address. Do you remember the piece of white apron that was missing just now?
Yes.
It was found just a few steps away from here, at the entrance of a building. That's where we must go.
Sherlock gonna keep me on the street as long as possible, dude. I'm tired. He knows I'm trying to get sleep. Okay, what did he say? Where are we going? Golston Street. Right, let's go.
Let's go.
Maybe he dropped it. He must have. Why would he cut it and drop it? Okay, Golston Street.
There's the spot, Watson. By night, Golston Street is deathly silent, which will permit us to carry out a fair few experiments. Let's find the entrance where the piece of the victim's apron and the mysterious chalk message were found.
Alright, Sherlock. Dude, respect to detectives. I used to want to be a detective. Just like I used to want to be a journalist. Those people don't sleep. Good detectives don't sleep. Okay? And they sacrifice their families and all of that to find the answers to things. Because you never know. Anyways, but like, if you can still be using your brain, amazing. When you're tired, oh my gosh, amazing. Okay. Oh, just gets...
Look at these signs, Watson. We are in the Jewish High Street.
Okay.
Look at these signs, Watson.
All
We're
right.
in the Jewish High Street.
That's wonderful. Oh, look at this, Watson. You know I love a thing like this. I love a thing like...
interest here.
Are you kidding me? Look at these stairs. Watson. I love that. I love anything that's tucked in. I can't get enough of that. I want to go in there, but it won't let me.
Look at these signs, Watson.
Right.
We are in the Jewish High Street.
He wants to keep talking about it, not me. He gonna say, because he has these. He's gonna say it.
Signs, Watson.
Okay,
we are in the Jewish
because
High Street.
all of them, they have to turn green. They're all clues. I don't know why he wants to keep talking about it.
There's the spot where the apron and the message were found by PC Long. Now,
oh, that's right, the address.
Remember, Watson, it was raining that night. Find me something with which to mimic raindrops hitting this wall while I write something with my chalk.
Bro, he has me doing the craziest
the Jews
stuff.
are not the men that will be blamed for nothing. But what does it mean?
I thought they said that they wiped that down. I thought he said that he wiped this down. What? I thought they said that in the notes.
Have you found something for us to pour water from? Watson?
No, I haven't.
Find
Shut
a
up.
container and some water. Let me remind you that it's nighttime and the street is deserted, Holmes.
Gosh. Sherlock doesn't care about my sanity and my safety. What about this little box? Can I put water in there? See, yeah, but like the cop wrote the address. That's how. That's all. The other one is like 108 to 119 or something. Blah. We're gonna get some water. Maybe I can find like a bucket of paint over here. Like. Those dogs are barking. Yo, I'm
have no reason to go
really
that way.
out here.
I have no reason to go that way.
I'm gonna try to find it on my own before I use my little space button. I'm surprised we haven't seen one bucket out here. Like, this place looks like it would just have buckets everywhere. I don't know why you don't just use a box, but you know, I guess. What about this barrel? Ah, yes.
Water.
Okay, I found water. Okay. What about like a rag? You could like soak the rag up. You probably want like a proper bucket or something.
I have no reason to go that way.
Well,
I have no reason to go that way.
Okay. We found water. Eh. I use my mouse. Okay, or my space. Oh, look at this. What?
That may come in handy. Who knows?
What? A piece of rope? That's not even what I was expecting to find. Huh? Huh?
That may come in handy. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
An old wooden pole. A merchant probably threw it out.
God, I've got a lot of weird stuff. Oh, a bottle. Right? No? Not for use? Well, I mean, there's a bunch of broken bottles, but I guess they're not good enough for Watson. Oh, what's this? Okay. See, how would I have seen this? Ah.
A watering can. That's what I need.
Now.
I can't reach it.
Wow, we're really video gaming right now. Okay, we've got a pole and a hook. We got this. Alright, you gotta do it in the right order. Exactly. Perfect. Very, very, very video gaming.
A watering can. That's what I need. But I can't reach it.
I just made you this stick, Watson.
A watering can.
He's gotta be kidding me.
A watering can.
I really thought I had everything I needed. Wanna set it on fire? Watson, we have a stick. If not this, then what? Do you also need a stool? This man? Maybe I need to get super close.
A watering can. That's what I need. But I can't reach it.
We can't jump in this game. Why'd you have me make this? Sherlock, I need you to give me a boost. Sherlock, I need help.
The Jews are not.
Oh my gosh. That's not what I wanted to talk about.
Have you found something for us to pour water from?
Yeah, I did, but like... Oh, I knew it! He needed a step stool. Ah, what the heck? How did I not see this? Bruh, are you kidding me? Wow. Wow, Watson. Also, this is dangerous. You better hope your health insurance covers accidents like this. Sherlock does not pay enough. I can tell you. Oh, he probably does, so I don't care what I'm talking about. Okay, I've got the watering can. Only risked life and limb for it. No big deal. Haha. I got your water, Sherlock, because he wants to mimic the sound of rain. Where are you? Standing in the dark, dude? Like, what the heck?
Yes, I have, Holmes.
Got your water. Okay, what are we doing, Sherlock? Oh, is he gonna tease me with these little stairs and I can't go? Oh, we're gonna wipe this off?
If this message were written by the killer, then it would have been lying in this entrance for up to 35 minutes before being discovered. Let's find out in what state it must have been.
Was it raining that night?
This message could not have withstood an entire night in the rain.
Okay.
During the investigations carried out on the night of the double murder, PC Hulse inspected the entrances of this street around 2:20 a.m. and confirmed to have seen nothing out of the ordinary. At 2:55 a.m., 35 minutes later, PC Long found Catherine Edow's piece of apron and the message in chalk. This message would not have withstood a whole night in the rain, as had I continued to water it for a little longer, I would certainly have erased it. It was written, therefore, at the moment when the piece of apron was dumped. This substantiates PC Hulse's statement, which stated he had seen neither of these during his rounds. After its discovery, it was guarded and protected from the rain, which was subsiding, which explains why it was still legible when it was erased at 5:30.
It's just a framing. It's
Dear
a
Watson, when you met PC Smith on his rounds in the street, where was he? On the pavement or in the middle of the road?
He was like in the
middle
road.
of Holmes, without a shadow of a doubt.
Good. You will go down the street with your lantern as if you were a policeman on patrol, using Smith's position as a guide. As soon as you see the entrance where I used the watering can, tell me if you see anything.
This is the creepiest part of this game for me. I don't know, like the shadow and the light and all this. Like, I don't like it. Okay, I'm coming down the road as I was blah blah. And as soon as I see you,
There, Holmes. From here, I can see something written.
I can't. You
read
have
it?
great
No.
Do you see
eyesight,
a white
Watson.
rag, Watson?
What white rag? Oh, on the ground? Yeah.
I see something on the ground, but I'm not sure if it's what you were talking about.
PC Long, who found the piece of apron, was examining the interior of the entrances, and yet nobody would have predicted that this piece of material would be discovered on the very night of the murder by a policeman on patrol.
How did the
What are you trying
policeman
to get
know
at,
that
Holmes?
even if it was
Let's
connected?
look at this message on the wall, Watson.
I'm gonna
The
read this
Jews
message
are
again.
Not the men that will be blamed for nothing. In other words, the Jews were possibly blamed for nothing, but that will no longer be the case. Reading this message naturally begs one question. What would that be, Watson?
Why?
Indeed, Watson, why? For what reason would one have the right to blame the Jews in the future? Remember, Lestrade was killed near a club for socialist Jews, Edhouse not far from a synagogue and the Imperial Club, and finally, this piece of apron dropped here. This building is occupied by Jewish families. The killer really did go out of his way to incriminate the Jews living
He's
in
been
the
doing
area.
this from the beginning
a
with the
bit
leopard
obvious, Holmes.
apron thing.
Yes, but with the rumors, Watson, the author of this message would have received a response to his strategy.
You are right, Holmes. So perhaps it's a good thing this message was erased.
Whoever took the decision to do this is a man of great wisdom and courage, Let's return to Baker Street, Watson. I have some pipes to smoke to help me think more clearly.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Baker Street. Home, sweet home.
I've said this time and time again while I'm playing this game. I have not ever read a theory that concerned the Jewish community in the Jack the Ripper cases. I haven't read everything. There's a lot out there, but I literally never read this, and this is like one of my biggest criticisms of this game. Because if this was added just to like, I hate it. I hate it so much. If this is actually a theory where like there's xenophobia during this time because you have these crazy murders and people always blame outsiders for these things, even though statistically it's the evidence doesn't match up, then like, oh wow, I didn't know that about this time, like during this time that was happening. But if it's just for the game, I don't like it. It's unnecessary. You never heard of that either, right? Okay, and you lived. I was like, you lived during this time. No, I know you are living in the UK, but like even Sabby didn't know about Whitechapel. Like, I mean, she knew obviously about Whitechapel, but like she didn't know about that they do tours, they do Jack the Ripper tours out there and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I haven't looked it up yet because I'm trying to wait until the game is over. But I hate it. Highly disapprove. And now we're going back to Sherlock's home like nothing ever happened. Yeah, I literally everything I've read about Jack the Ripper there, I've never ever seen anything like that. Like nothing about any community like that, or like him trying to frame people, because it was the opposite. He was writing to the newspapers, he sent them body parts, like he was like that was like part of his whole thing. He like wanted all this attention and like to get away with it and all that. Definitely play Assassin's Creed Syndicate and the Jack the absolutely, absolutely. And I still need to get the Atlantis DLC, but yeah, no, that is like Syndicate, that's like one of the reasons that I bought it. One, the time frame, and two, I knew about that DLC. It sounds fun. Sounds kind of scary too, though. I wonder if it's scary in that game for whatever reason. All right, we're going back to Baker Street to wrap up our evening. 7:15 a.m. Still haven't slept.
Nightmares all night, Holmes.
Oh, he did sleep.
As for you, I bet you didn't get a wink of sleep, did you? It's this chalk message business, isn't it?
Among other things.
And this lunatic is still running free. If only we knew what he looked like.
But we do know, Watson. We have a fairly accurate description.
He's
I
about
must have missed
5'5".
an episode of your adventures, Holmes. Not only have I heard you discredit the value of our eyewitnesses, but the few descriptions we do have don't seem to correspond.
An inaccurate account can regain its value if we can discover why and to what extent the truth must be rewritten. We've learned a great many things tonight, and I'm able to tell you what our man looks like.
For real?
Yes, and we're going to need a few things, Watson.
Of course.
Find me 3 mannequins, my worker's costume, my 3 full wigs, one of your worn garments. Yes, that can be used for the workman's outfit, and one of your old suits. Oh, and my deer stalker, the one I never wear, but everyone seems to think I wear day and night.
I feel like Watson must enjoy this kind of relationship. It's definitely for some people to be like the right-hand man and to be like told what to do and stuff like that. Like I could totally understand that. There's a part of me from so long ago that really enjoyed the idea of being a personal assistant. I knew I would be so good at it because I would be, because I just am good at stuff like that naturally. But it's against my true path. My true path. But anyways, what am I saying? In conclusion, I have to go because it's bedtime. It's bedtime. Brain's getting a little loopy. Just getting stuff done, but lack of responsibility or blame if stuff goes wrong. What you mean? What you mean? Wait, just getting stuff done, but lack of responsibility. Oh, like if you're an assistant and oh, the allure of being an assistant. I never think about getting something wrong. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I feel like if I was assistant, I would be a really good one, like this. And I don't think though I would enjoy taking the brunt of like, oh, like if I'm working with somebody who's irresponsible, I'm not taking the blame for them. Oh, would I take the blame for them? I might. For the right boss, I probably would do this. Because to me, that would mean I was such a good assistant that I even covered for my boss under any possible circumstance. That is that is like a old part of my brain though. But it's something that I think I'm naturally good at. Yeah, like that. There's a who's the best example I've seen of this? I've seen it like the menu. Have you seen the menu? I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. Through 2.0 wouldn't do it. She would be tempted, maybe, but she wouldn't do it anymore. She wouldn't do it. Would I enjoy having an assistant? I don't know if I would. I don't know. Would I? I'm trying to imagine what that would be like. I'm more grateful when people actually help me do stuff. You haven't seen the menu? I won't say anything then. I'll say nothing.